Hey everyone.
You're not big enough for a hockey player.
Can you, what's that?
You're not big enough for a hockey player.
No, I've lost some weight too. Kind of, just got a little softer. Anyways, I wrote some things down here so I don't forget. Got lots of thoughts about what's gone on, transpired the last 18 months. But I want you all to look around first and look at one another and you know, you've been through a lot the last 18 months, we all have, and be grateful for one another that we're here, that we gather, and be thankful that we can still gather and we can still be together, and we're fighting the good fight. So for the last 18 months, I've had, I'm sure as every household here has had a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotion, a lot of down days. And this week has been one of those weeks where we've been really down. We've been really trying to fight the good fight, and we keep getting things thrown upon us in our household, and like all of us, we try to fight back and use our heart and follow our heart. And that's what we've been doing in our household. And it feels like we're swimming uphill lots of days, but it feels good to be here, I know that, and I want to thank you guys for all for coming. My dad said when I talked to him about this speech, while I'm trying to prepare it and get an objective on how to do it, he said, "You cannot be wrong when you speak from your heart." And that's what I'm here to do today. So I just want to share a few things of what I've been through from the hockey side and being in, you know, professional sports and what that industry's been through, and just kind of give you a glimpse of what I've been through the last 18 months. So we were actually in Florida at our family house in Florida, where Bill and Am, God rest her soul, who spent a lot of time in this place and spent a lot of time out in the field. But anyways, we were down there, and you know, all this stuff was coming in early March of 2020, and we got home, and I went to Boston to see a player, and was there for a couple of days, and was told to get home and not travel again. As time passed, and in March of 2020, I think we all just went, what's going on? We're trying to figure out, get our grip. It was just kind of a bit of a blur. But as time passed, we went along, and I obviously continued to work for the Coyotes and do my thing, and talk to prospects all over the world. And the more I talked to them, the more I realized that I just kept asking questions on what their society is dealing with. Now, keep in mind, I had 4 prospects in Sweden, so life was pretty normal there. And they didn't lock down, they didn't do anything. They just kept on rolling, and still to this day have very few restrictions. So, pretty big comparable to where we have been, you know, taking a lot of restrictions and being locked down, and so it's a bit of the polar opposite. But you know, I asked those players and those young guys, you know, what's life like? You know, can you go get a coffee? Can you go here? Do you have to wear masks? And is there hospitals filling up? And you know, these things, and frankly, they weren't. So it got me on this path, and that's what leaded me here today, to be quite honest with you. So I come here today. Obviously, some of you may know my background, some of you may not, but I come here today as a concerned Canadian, frankly, and a father. I'm concerned about my kids' future. I'm concerned about their kids' future, and that has been my passion the last few months, is just trying to, along with a lot of others, just fight for our freedoms and fight for our rights. Sorry about this. I just want to make sure I don't miss. So I'm going to fast. So anyways, as the season went on, and we worked through all the things we worked through, I did all my stuff virtually, and didn't travel, and we had all the things going on here in Ontario. The thing that really hit hard with me was the fact that we didn't try. We didn't try for our kids here in Ontario. The OHL didn't play last year, and there's too many kids that didn't play and weren't active in hockey. And I mean, that's my life, and that's what I've committed my life to, is hockey. And for the OHL and for them not to try was just heartbreaking, frankly. And I might not be standing here today if I didn't play one season. You can make a lot of improvement in one season. And there's a lot of kids that their dreams were shattered, and for me that's unacceptable. I'm saying that was it a perfect year in Sweden? Was it a perfect year in Switzerland or in Russia? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Did the teams make tons of money and everything was great? No, it wasn't. Did they have to shut down if a player got COVID and went through the team? Yes, it did. But they tried. They tried, and for the fact that we didn't try here in Ontario is not good enough for me, frankly. There's too many children that didn't play hockey. The last thing on that point is the players were left in the dark. If they were a drafted player, obviously I was in contact with them. But if they were a player that was just undrafted or in their 18 or 19-year-old year, the teams never talked to them. The OHL teams never talked to them. They never let them know, hey, we're having a meeting here, and we're talking here, and we're going here. These kids were I mean, talk about mental anguish. They were in the midst of it. They didn't know where their dreams were going to be shattered, and I felt for them. There was a lot of days where I had to talk about these kids, and heart-wrenching, and I'm sure we've all had those days, but I feel for those kids because, like I said, I might not be standing here today if I took a year off, or had to work or had to train out of my apartment. There's lots of kids that just try to work out and train in their basement or their apartment or wherever they were in the world. We had lots of kids in Europe just working out of their apartment building, and that gets monotonous and frustrating at times. So I'm going to fast forward to today. I realize that people, obviously my world is hockey, but there's people that are fighting for their jobs and fighting to put food on the table and fighting for their children. And I feel in my heart that we've been on this battle and we've been fighting it, and it hasn't been very popular for the mainstream, and I have to tell you today that I will continue to fight, and like Wayne said, we will continue to fight. We're just getting started. We have to continue to fight for our freedoms and continue to fight for our children. I guess my last thing is that I want to leave you with our government. It works for us, and as Wayne just mentioned, it works for us. We don't work for them, and it's time. I stand here today as never been a political person, never really had to care about the political stuff that went on and has been going on for years. But in my heart of hearts, this is wrong. What's happening? And I'm following my gut, and that's what led me here today. So I thank you for having me. I'm much better one-on-one. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to fire away or get in touch with me. I'm an open book. So anyways, thanks very much for having me.